Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the tailed twisted boutique bow using the Brilliant Bow Maker 3-inch snap template system. So this is what you get, and I got these exclusively from the American supplier, Little Ladybug Supplies, and I ran a pre-order on my channel so we could actually get them back into the UK, and these ones have actually not ever been in the UK before. It's got some instructions on the back, so you can unfold this and it gives you like a little instruction. And like I said, I'm going to do a tutorial showing you how to use it today. And I have got my own version here. And as you can see, as with all my templates, I have taken my Sharpie and ruler and I've extended my lines a bit further because it just helps me. It does make sense for me, it doesn't make sense for everyone, but like I said, whatever's best for yourself. But like I said, I do have the pre-orders, and like I said, if you want the snap clip template for 3 inches just by itself, like I said, details will be all in there for my group for you. So this is my template, and I tried it on 2 different sizes because the information on the instructions says you start at 54 inches of ribbon to make a standard boutique bow. Now for me that's a bit much because it makes a huge like 8-inch bow, so I've done it down a little bit, and I've done this one in 50 inches and this one in 46 inches, and this gives you a 6-inch bow, and this gives you a 6.5, and this gives you a 6. So I'm doing 50 inches today, which is this 50 inches. And what I've done is at the end I have folded 6 inches, which takes me back down to 44 inches in total for the remainder. And what I've done is I've taken that, and with my lighter I've heat creased, and then I have taken my end up so it meets where I've done my fold for my tail, and I have made the centre again, and I've heat creased that with the clear blue bit of flame on my lighter. Now with this, there's a lot of like extra tabs compared to a standard template, so there's more like little tabs than these ones. Don't be overly concerned, don't get overwhelmed by this, because this is the easiest way to do this, and like I said, it's not as complicated as it looks. Now it's entirely up to you. You can do it from the F to the C or the B to the E, whichever way is best for you depending on whether or not you're left or right handed. I naturally do it from the B to the E, and what I do is where my tail is going to be, I line up that tail mark with the lines which is here, and I can lift it off my desk. There we go. So you want to start that there so that your tail's in and it's dead centre with that line, which is where your marks would be on your natural template, which is here and here, which is your A to sort of D area. Okay, and then with our crease side, and this is the other thing to remember with your ribbon, you want it so it's completely flat, and that you're taking this loop round and slotting it into here, and then aligning it so it's across here. Okay, and then you can pop that on your snaps this side. And like I said, just make sure it stays lined up. I use my hand to hold it in place for a minute, and then take this round, and again make sure it stays flat and looped. And the other thing I've done with this is I did heat seal in the blue clear bit of flame again. End of the ribbon. Thread this through here. And line that up with your A tab. Now for me, just to make this easier before I put my stitch in, I put those in to hold it all in place. But as you can see, once we straighten it all up, you've got the like figure 8 look of the bow, and if you look and you lift up on your template, if you've done it right, these will be the same height from the, if that makes sense. Because like I said, we don't want one set of loops bigger than the other or anything like that. And if you've got any adjustments or anything like that, this is a point where you can make them before you start putting your hold stitches in and everything else. So from here, right in the centre, we are just going to do, this is basically just a little anchor stitch. Now, a lot of people are like, why do we do this one? Is it that really that important? And yes, it is. Because if you're anything like me, and if you lose concentration for even a second, everything starts slipping around and moving. We don't want that. We don't want a ribbon to come off the template and have it go all over the place, because that's where things start going wrong and where we start making a mess of things. And the whole point of using these templates is to help us prevent that kind of experience and help us have more consistent results. Just going to re-tie off my thread, and I do always use double layered upholstery thread. I either use extra strong Goodband thread, or I use Coats and Tails upholstery thread. Okay, so now I've got our anchor stitch in place, we can move these out of the way. And this is obviously the back of the bow, and the cross that's underneath on the other side is the front of the bow. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these to the peaks, and we're going to heat crease again to make sure that our lines are nice and even as we put them on the template. Same again this side. And lift your template up, and I always naturally start this side, and you bring that over, you put that in your clips, roll that back, and again what you want to do is make sure that that line is centered with there, and then spin it. And you want to do exactly the same thing, pop that over, so that your ribbon is snug in there. If this happens, just roll that back up, just that, and again just make sure that everything is still lined up centrally. Now I saw on the template, because for me it makes it easier. Some people will take it off at this point and do it that way, whatever's going to work for you. I'm just going to clip the tail out of the way so I don't accidentally sew into that. But from underneath, because this would be the front of the bow, we start with 1, and on these bigger bows I tend to do 8 or 10 stitches, but whichever works for you is whatever works best for you, but like to make sure it's balanced. I will show you in a minute once I've got these in. And I do the first 2 from the back, and then do the rest across the front so I can see. Now it tends to make it easier to do the 3 visually in there, and then what you do is obviously to get your stitches, because we want to be coming back through here, is under there, and then we want to come back up so that it's coming back up. So we started under, we're coming back under, if that makes sense. and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now they're all placed, and to take it off your clips, you take your finger under and under there. Same on this side, under there. And take these gently off your template, because if you take them off fast, you can sometimes mark your ribbon. You don't want to do that. And then we can take the template out of the way. And as you can see, you've already got your boutique type shape building. Now what I do, just to save some sort of chunkiness in the middle and make it lay a little bit flatter and nicer, in the centre you've got this like little bit of ribbon from your middle. You don't want to cut all of it off. I just sort of give it a little trim, and always heat seal. And obviously the other side is the tail, so we don't need to worry about that. And then we can gather our centre like so, and I like to wrap my thread round at least 2 to 3 times, sometimes more, and then you sew off in the back or thread off in the back, whatever is comfortable for you. And as you can see, we have got a nice even twisted boutique bow that doesn't take that long to make on the templates. It's often quicker than freehand, and 50 inches with the tail works out, as I said, about 6.5 inches, just under 7 inches, depending on how you sort of measure your bows. And then I've got this super cute little alligator clip to attach it to. Pop that on the back. And as you can see, the back is the 2 lines where we were, and the front is that cross shape that was on the back of the template. And then I've got some 9mm ribbon that matches my bow to wrap the centre. And we're just going to wrap this around twice, and then what I will do is show you how to get the nice chunky knotted centre, because I always think knotted centres or pointed knotted centres on a twisted boutique bow look really pretty. Just gives it an extra something and makes it pop, especially if you're doing like a plain colour bow like this rather than a pattern ribbon or a like nice ombre rainbow something or anything like that. And I like these more structured boutiques because to me they're more the classic boutique rather than the sort of like more less structured versions, which are more like the JoJo floppier versions, if that makes sense. So I've got some 3-inch ribbon which matches my and I have done 6 inches, same as the tail. And we take this and we fold it, well, roll it into sort of 3 evenly, and then take it so you've got a loop like this, almost like a fish, and then you pull that through, sort of centre it so that you've got even amounts each side, and then we're going to trim this down and heat seal it all together with the lighter blue colour bit as normal. Bring it all together and then pinch it gently with your fingers once it's warmed up a little bit. It's sort of melting the edges together to give it that seal. Same this side. Be very careful of your fingers. There we go. And the key trick with this is glue on the flat side of the knot and get that over your centre, rather than gluing and wrapping it round, and it will help you make sure everything's lined up as well. So I do that. Make sure your loops are all out of the way. There you go. And then you can glue that side. And open your clip, glue that in. Again, make sure your loops are out of the way. Glue, open up, wrap that around. There we go. And then if you want some extra structure, you can use some hairspray or anything to sort of make it stiffer and give it more shape as well. And I'm just going to do a little curve. Do the tail. And again, heat seal this in the blue clear bit of the flame so we don't have any fraying or anything like that on your bow. And there we go. We have got a super cute tailed boutique bow using the 3-inch snap clip.